All right, welcome to another episode of the Gen Z Show. I'm your host, Jeimie, and today we're talking about a really interesting topic. Can time management techniques actually harm productivity? We all hear that managing our time well is super important, but sometimes being too strict with our schedules can backfire. It might make us more stressed or even less productive. So, in this episode, we will explore if and how time management techniques can, sometimes do more harm than good and how we can find the right balance. So with me today is no other than the creative genius behind all our posts in Tahche, Miss Marilou Cinco. Hi, Lou.
Hi, Jamie. Good afternoon. Creative genius talaga.
Of course, I'm a fan of your work. Thank you, Lou, for being part of this episode.
Yeah.
One big problem, is that life doesn't always go as planned. If our
True.
schedule is too rigid, it's hard to, adjust when unexpected things happen. And, we might end up missing out on new opportunities or not handling sudden problems very well. So, can you tell me about the ways you manage your time during the day?
Usually, Jamie, like you said, I am mostly creating the social media contents or contents in general for Tache. So, usually I would have this more like similar to a to-do list, sorry, but I call it pending task list. Before I end my work shift for the day, I make sure to list down or to dump everything that I need to do or comply for the week, just so I will not forget them. The following day, whenever I open my laptop again, I can see the sticky note and the list. I will be reminded right away. Before, I used to have all these, fancy planners from Starbucks and stuff like
Right, right. I'm guilty.
Pero yeah, overtime kasi personally for me, I only make use of it siguro mga first half of the year lang. Tapos mga 6 months unto ending of the year, parang binaliwala ko na lang siya. So, it's a waste, of course, na hindi ko siya nagamit. And then, I also realized na it is more efficient for me kung naka-digital na lang yung list ko. Kasi nakikita ko siya every day. So, that is how I manage my time for the day. Make a to-do list para I'll be reminded right away. And then, from there, I pick out the things that I need to do for the day and comply with my deliverables.
Right. And what good things have you noticed from using time management techniques?
Ako kasi na pagkatao is medyo makalat yung brain ko. So, if I forget
Very scattered, though. If you're creative,
Oo.
the thought is really scattered. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so apart from creating contents, there are also minor tasks that
Mhm.
done. So I really need time management for that one.
And I like the one you've mentioned about trying to squeeze in lahat ng parang kailangan mong gawin, especially kapag may sisingit na task yung mga managers. And sometimes, when we're too focused on managing every minute, we might rush through our tasks just to stay on schedule. So this means, we might not do our best work because we're more concerned about finishing on time than doing things well. And have you ever felt that managing your time strictly has made you less productive or more stressed? Can you give an example?
Actually, yes, especially if, the timeline that I set for the week or for the day is not being followed. Diba, I create contents for Tache. One of it is creating like this, like we air a weekly show, the Gen Z show as we call it.
Right.
Because I am mostly doing the video editing and the promotion of the show online. Tapos, Jamie here for everyone's FYI, mostly the one who shoots the video, especially if we have guest speakers. If ever the raw clips are not handed over to me, say Wednesday or Tuesday earlier the week, I will not be able to edit anything as well. So that would make me feel really anxious because this weekly show we are targeting to air it every Monday at 6 p.m. So
I know.
Jamie here knows for sure that every time we cannot
The pressure.
yeah, I really have to push back, make some adjustments along the way. So yes, to answer the question, sticking to a very strict timeline or, time management method is really stressful or can be very stressful for you. So you need to be very flexible sometimes.
Right. And in terms of like handling it or managing it, how do you know if your way of managing your time is working well? Kasi ako personally, I've been experienced or done several methods. And
Uh-uh.
right now, the thing that's working with me is yung note-taking lang. Yung I'll do to-do list on my digital tablet,
Yeah.
the iPad. And then somehow, it's satisfying to take some things na natapos ko na. And that's my
True.
way,
Yeah.
to manage my time. How about you? How do you know if your way of managing time is working well?
If I am able to, yes, also tick all the list of things to do on my list. But more importantly, Jeimie, or the way that I measure if the way I manage my time is successful is when I'm able to deliver all my deliverables on time.
I want your personal take on this. Do you think having a very strict schedule makes it hard to deal with unexpected tasks or creative ideas since you're very creative as a person?
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, if hindi masunod yung timeline ko, I have the tendency to get really anxious. But like I said, I have to be flexible with how I do things. So, for example, we have this specific task that needs to be done before Monday or by Friday, dapat tapos na siya. And then, say for example, there's a recruiter from the talent acquisition team who would message me na may ipapagawa silang graphics for job posting, for example. Of course, I would have to cater to that because that is also very important. They need my help for gathering leads. The way I weigh if the task needs to be done is if it's urgent and important, and if I can do it in less than 5 minutes, I will do it. And anyway, the pending task like video editing, for example, that would take me hours. So yun nga, imagine if I don't cater the request and I just continue editing the video. So, makakalimutan ko na yung minor na request.
Right. Right. So basically, you prioritize the things or the task na madali lang matapos, and then you'll go back to those tasks na it will take some time to finish.
Right.
So it's like a strategy na rin, no, on how you
in a
handle
way.
your time. Focusing too much, on managing every minute can also make us rush through tasks just to stay on track. It would lead to a decline in the quality of work, and that's something that we don't want to do or to deliver. So instead of doing things well, we're more concerned with just getting them done. And that's one of the things I don't like about being too strict on time management. So I really like what you're doing right now. Na you will prioritize the things that it can be done like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and then you'll go next to those tasks na medyo matatagalan. In terms of like balancing your work and personal life, because sometimes you're work from home, right? So how do you make sure your time management helps you balance work and personal life?
All right. So to be perfectly honest with you, Jeimie, once my work shift is done for the day, regardless if I'm in the office or at home, if the clock strikes 7 o'clock, I log out and then that's it. I close my laptop. I don't look at emails or messages. I rarely do that. Yeah. So that's how I set parang work and personal life boundary, if you like to call it. Because, Jeimie, I learned the hard way. Before, I used to be the very opposite. I used to be very anxious and I always panic na, baka I missed something at work that I need to parang do even outside my working hours already. That was to the expense of my mental health. So that's when I started developing work anxiety and it's becoming very, very unhealthy for me. So eventually I had to parang make an oath to myself to never again allow my job to, spoil my personal time if it's outside work time already. So that's how I balance personal and work life.
And I agree. It's supposed to be like that. I mean, I've experienced that before. I take calls from the management ng 9 p.m., 10 p.m., even though I clocked off like 7, 8 p.m. So yeah, work anxiety is true.
Yeah.
Sometimes the Viber notification gives me anxiety.
That is so
kapag parang may tatawag via Viber. parang iiyak ka na lang because, oh my God, it's work again, pero nasa bahay ka na. So, no, you really have to make sure that you also manage your time between your work and personal life. In your experience, how have you changed the way you manage your time to better fit your needs?
Well, over time, I've become, like I said, more flexible. I mean, I've always been flexible. Like, I don't want to bound myself into this super strict time management strategy. That is the only way for me to also not overly stress myself and, cause anxiety in the long run. And yeah, like I said, comply with the tasks that are easily done and are important, of course. And then just go back those tasks na needs more time and hindi pa naman deadline on that day.
Last question, Talu. Actually, last two questions. What tips would you give someone who feels that managing their time is making things worse?
If I could give you a tip, guys, on this one, it's really to find balance between having a structured and strict time management strategy and between being spontaneous. Ganun siya. So don't be too hard on yourself because at the end of the day, your work task will never be done. Like araw-araw may madadagdag dyan. Practice flexibility if you can. I know it's hard at first, but eventually you'll get used to it, and that can really help you not overwhelm yourself.
Right. And now for the last question, how
Yes.
do you practice like mindfulness or stress management can help with managing time better?
Oh yes, of course. Mindfulness, Jeimie, or practicing, mindfulness can really improve one's focus and clarity, especially if you're super busy with your tasks and if you're juggling a lot of tasks every day. This can help you make better decisions, I would say. And,
Right.
having a clear mind will allow you to focus more on which task to prioritize and which task to, push back a little bit. Stress management techniques as well, such as, very simple, deep breathing or taking some time off, not jumping onto one task and another task right away. Just give yourself at least 5 minutes. That can really help you a lot. Sometimes I do it like after video editing for like 8 hours straight, like sitting on my desk.
Oh my gosh. I
Yes.
can imagine the 8 hours na edit ka lang ng edit ng video.
Di ba, imagine sitting on your desk, not just with video editing. For example, ikaw, you're a social media manager or you're, having series of meetings. That is also very stressful. So in order for you to reduce the tense that you feel at work and, just to unwind a little bit, give yourself breaks in between, at least 5 minutes or 10.
I agree. Kung susundin mo yung time mo or the things that you need to do one by one until you're done, I think you'll end up experiencing burnout.
Yes.
Especially if you're editing videos.
Editing videos talaga yung example ko, Jeimie.
That's all for that we have for today, Lou. Thank you so much for your time.
Sure.
And any tips or any advice for those people who are struggling right now on managing their time? They think they're not productive, even though they've done several tasks already in a day.
Yes. You know what? I think the key sometimes is that, the reason sometimes why people don't feel productive, even though they've already done a lot for the day, and perhaps you guys are not keeping track of your tasks. Like Jeimie said, she does this to-do list and then she ticks all the things that she's already done with. So that could be a tip for you guys. List down all the things you need to do and then crush out all those that you've already done so that you will have this sense of fulfillment or accomplishment for the day. Alam mo yung hashtag small wins, ganun. Ganun yung feeling mo. You were able to do 5 tasks, let's say, or 10 tasks for the day.
Yeah, you don't have to pressure yourself to complete everything in a day.
Yeah,
It's really
true.
hard.
Yes, and like I said earlier, diba, your task will never be done. Every day, there's always task for you. So take it easy, guys. Be easy on yourself.
Finding the right balance between structure and spontaneity can help you stay productive without feeling overwhelmed. So don't be afraid to adjust your methods and find what works best for you. Your journey to productivity is personal, and there's no one size fits all method or approach. So
I like that.
Yun, thank you. So that's all for today's episode. Thank you, Lou,
Thank you
for
so
guesting.
much.
I-edit mo ba to?
Yes, I will edit this, guys.
Thank you for joining us on the Jensen Show. Again, this is Jeimie. And we have here Lou.
Yes.
Right. So until next time, keep exploring, stay balanced, and remember to take care of yourself. You've got this, guys. Thank you and have a great week.